Good afternoon, CUBE community, and welcome to Dallas, Texas. We are here kicking off our 2 days of wall-to-wall coverage at Boomi World 2025. My name's Savannah Peterson. Very excited to be bringing you all the stories this week with Paul. Paul, this is going to be fun. We get to do the whole show together.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah, it's going to be a great week.
You know, I'm particularly excited. You always bring such a fantastic analytical and data-driven set of feedback and analysis to all of our shows. You dropped a great article this morning to kick us off during the keynote. Would love if you could talk us through a little bit of that data.
Well, absolutely. I guess there's a lot, that comes out of that keynote that was really kind of drew to my attention, especially with the research that we're looking at. We see, with the integration data and APIs and, and applied AI that was really announced at the keynote was really kind of top of mind for a lot of organizations, right? We see that out of the Global 2000, 40% of them are looking to invest in AI initiatives, right, this year alone. So this is right on par with what Boomi's doing and what they're announcing. All the capabilities that they were looking at and the features that they were looking at is really kind of an enhancement to bridging the past and bringing it forward, right? So if you look at their iPads and what they're doing with the iPads, yeah, they're kind of moving away from that messaging, but really the core foundation piece is still core to them, right? So it's really a good thing.
Yeah, it is really core, and it's interesting, I mean, just being here, it's buzzing. Last night there was quite the fiesta to kick it off. We've got those roving reporter segments that are going to be coming out through our production broadcast today. It's about people, and there's a lot of trust within this community. I mean, Boomi is something that brings products and tools and platforms together. They're also a company that brings a lot of wonderful people together, and I know that that's going to be a core focus of what we're going to be talking to Steve about this morning. I know he's all about putting the human in AI. He wants to agentify everything, is what we heard in the keynote this morning as well, which I think is going to be really interesting. Paul, I was giggling last night. I was interviewing Mike, who the audience will get to see later today, and when we were talking this time last year, we were calling them AI chatbots.
Yeah.
We weren't even calling them agents yet, which blows my mind because I feel like that's all we've been talking about.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, look at what McKinsey put out for a study, right? They're saying that, the global AI study that they put out, only 25% of organizations are scaling beyond those AI pilot programs. So, the chatbot that they were doing, right, is now maturing to agents, right? And MCP, and if you're looking at Google, it's A to A. Those areas are really kind of areas where agents are really going to be the next generation of communication within the organization for applications. I will talk about the comment that you made, which is it's about community and people, right? I'm still a huge proponent of a human in the loop, right? Yeah. We're not ready yet to just push the big green button.
Right. And I know, I mean, we did get to see some robots on stage this morning in the keynote.
You did.
But I'm with you. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're not in an AGI moment yet where everything's going to take over with sentience. But I do think that there's a lot of wonderful solutions. I'm always impressed by how many new partners that Boomi is integrating into all of the work that they're doing. I know they just announced a partnership with ServiceNow. We were just at ServiceNow last week for Knowledge. So it's kind of fun. I feel like all of our friends are getting together, working and building the future.
I think the partnership is a big part of their success and their growth.
Yeah.
Right, the ecosystem is really about growth here, right? When we look at some of the announcements, like the data management with governance, context, integration at scale, right? We see that 27% of enterprises rate their data as high quality, right? And if they're rating their data as high quality, taking those agents and using that data behind it, the data management with governance is important. We also see in our research that there's a tremendous amount of growth in new applications that are coming out.
Yeah.
And with those new applications, it's really pushing the development of applications out to the citizen developer or the lines of businesses. So data governance, control, and regulations also has to be in place. So I was happy to hear that at the announcement this morning.
That's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up because I think one of the things that's nice about Boomi and in the conversations that we've had just in our pre-interviews and last night's interviews, the conversation around governance. It comes up a lot with them. It's obviously very important when you're working with the companies at the level and scale that Boomi is. But I do think it's kind of refreshing to have that be a part of the conversation because if you're not doing it right now and you unleash those agents on all your data sets across your organization, you're going to be in a serious situation and potentially getting fined or a lot of different things that could happen as a result.
Yeah, I mean, accountability is key, right? Yeah. I mean, I think we were seeing this as one of the key announcements that came out was Boomi's support of the Azure Key Vault, right? And that piece is really part of the security and governance, right? So when you start building, we had this kind of phase a while ago about shadow IT, right? Kind of going around IT to get your job done. Well, with shadow AI, so to speak, right, that's going to be a thing, right? And it's going to, because AI is not just about technology, it's really about the business objectives, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to enable your entire organization from top down, not just the technologists, not just the practitioners, but the people that are in the lines of business to have that platform. Governance and security is key. The last thing we want to see is an organization put out code and go, well, that code went out the door and it wasn't our fault, it was the AI that did it. No, you're still accountable.
Right. No, you can't be pointing fingers at something that you built. You've got to make sure whatever you're building and deploying is working and working within the boundaries of what's right and what's legal. I think it's going to be kind of fun. This is the biggest Boomi World ever. Very excited for them. A 50% increase in attendance over last year. I think they're expecting potentially 1,500 people here this week, which is very exciting. And I'm really pumped to get some of their customer stories. You know, I feel like we're really at an inflection moment where the hype around AI and even the hype around agentic, everyone's kind of tired of it. You know, where is it? Let's show me, don't tell me in the same way. And so I think we're going to get some interesting stories.
Well, there's an evolution, right? And it's happening incredibly fast, right? Yeah. But I mean, it still goes back to the core principles of data transformation. Like what we see as the top challenges is highlighting integration complexity, governance gaps, which we talked about a little bit, and the barriers to AI scaling, right? What we see in our research, in the CUBE research, is 73% of enterprises cite integration and complexity as a primary obstacle for digital transformation, right? And this is all laid out in this article that I wrote this morning, because I kind of highlighted the announcements with our research, which I think kind of aligns nicely. But like, I think that there's a factor here that you have to overcome some of these challenges, but knowing that this is a rapid changing landscape when it comes to AI. Like the new tech stack that's going in place may not be the same tech stack that you're using tomorrow. So you have to be dynamic and fluid with your technology, but you also have to get your business objectives completed. So it's a fine balance here.
It really is a fine balance. I think that's a great point as well, Paul. I think, you know, what I've heard a lot in many of the dialogues we've had, I mean, shoot, we've probably done 500 interviews about AI and agentic this year so far. I would say that trust is really that core selection. It's less about the specific tool and more about the partners that you're trusting to work with you or to help build out that solution for the future. And whether that's whether that's an AI factory or whether that's a platform or orchestration or your observability or whatever that might be, I hear more and more everyone knows there's going to be this iteration like you're talking about and this agility, but they want to work with the folks that they know are going to be there for the journey and not flake out or have something weird happen along the way. And I know that Boomi is one of those trusted partners.
Oh, for sure. And you know, I will echo a couple of other data points around this. When we look at when we look at the enterprise investments for AI, we see that in our research, we see 40% of organizations are looking to increase their investment with AI, and 50% of those organizations are looking to maintain spend. So it's great news for the partner ecosystem, because the big challenge I hear from CIOs is the fact that there's skill gap issues and complexity. And the partner ecosystem that's helping Boomi get this done, those service delivery partners are going to help those organizations achieve their goals.
Absolutely, and that's going to be vital. That skills gap that you're talking about, I think, is so critical. There's a lot of moving pieces right now, and I think we're at one of the more interesting shows to talk about all of those moving pieces. We have some fantastic guests coming up. We've got, I believe, 20 interviews plus the 3 that we did last night. We're going to be hearing from many of the executives, the whole top of the C-suite here. We've got Steve Lucas, Allison. We had Matt McLarty on last year. I interviewed Allison before this, which is going to be really fun. Really power-packed audience with a lot of their core partners. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm really looking forward to doing the whole show. What are you most excited about this week, Paul?
Well, I'm excited about the the Boomi AI Studio, right? I like the one platform approach, the unified view. I definitely think that that's an area that's going to take off. We see a lot of organizations are struggling with all these tools and their tech debt that they have. And what we also see in the year of 2025, so this year, we see organizations pivoting towards these fragmented silos of bespoke solutions to more of a unified approach. So I was really happy to see that during the keynote, the one platform. I'm looking forward to that in the interviews that we talk about. The AI Studio really is going to help with that, the integration of the Rivety data pipeline, right? That's an acquisition that occurred, so that's something I'm really interested in understanding more about. So I think that's going to be a cool one to kind of understand the capabilities there, and the runtime control APIs. Those are the ones that are really interesting, because of course from the app dev perspective, that's where I'm like honing in on.
Right, absolutely. Not shocking, but very, very keen to see see how that all pans out. I actually really want to go play in the agent garden that's behind us right here. You can get certified in Boomi's agentic learning program on the show floor, which I think is kind of cool. So
that is very cool.
My low-key challenge to myself at lunch one of these days is going to see if I can pick up a Boomi certification. Who knows? But I do love that they're actively educating. I know there's over 50 breakout sessions here at the show, in addition to all of the keynotes. But they're really, it's meant to be interactive here. You're meant to be learning. You're meant to be playing, experimenting, and collaborating. This isn't one of those shows where you just sit and ingest information and go to a vendor dinner.
You're collaborating with them. It's a very good event. I love the show floor. Last night was great, walking around, talking to different people.
It was pumping.
Yeah, it was very engaging, yes, for sure.
It was very engaging. Well, Paul, I can't wait to go through this entire week with you. Thank you so much for being here. It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be awesome.
And thank all of you for tuning in here to our 2 days of fantastic coverage at Boomi World 2025 here in Dallas, Texas. My name's Savannah Peterson. You're watching theCUBE, the leading source for enterprise tech news.